Young people who die in their sins will be lost. Unfaithful spouses who die in their sins will be lost. Addicts who die in their sins will be lost. It is only then at death that there is a place of no return. Until then, Jesus says, "Come unto me, all ye labor and heavy laden, I'll give you rest." It doesn't matter where you've been. It doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter what burden it has. I can give you something lighter. I can give you something better. We see him do that in the life of Peter. He takes this rough around the edges fisherman. We see those steps that Peter takes in order to begin to follow him and leaving us this great example. And we see throughout Scripture Peter struggling sometimes. I think that's one of the best things about Peter's story is that Peter's not perfect from this point out. It's not like Peter gets to the end of this and he says, "Oh yeah, I've got it all figured out now. There's no problems. I'm just going to do right from here on out." No, Peter struggles. He makes mistakes. He says dumb things. He does dumb things. And yet, at the end of his life, we see him as this polished, wonderful, righteous, godly man who writes some of the most beautiful words in 1st and 2nd Peter that you've ever read, who understands and grasps fully the knowledge that God has given him in such a way that he can communicate it to others in a way that moves them to change their lives. See, Peter's life didn't start with success. It started with failure. At least his story does in the Bible. But it ends in great success because he was willing to let Jesus have control, to do exactly what he wanted, to reap the benefits and the rewards, and he was willing to let go of everything and to refocus his life. That's what he asks of you and I tonight. That's what he asks of us every day. Rather, I wonder, as we look at Peter and we look at his life, if we don't at some point find ourselves in him. Maybe we're one of those categories that we talked about where we're struggling. We're in spiritual failure. We feel like we can't come back, and yet God still calls for us. Peter proves to us that even in failure we become successful. Spiritually speaking, that's true. It doesn't matter how much failure you have felt, spiritually speaking, in your life. Jesus can lead you to be spiritually healthy and to be spiritually successful. Tonight we're going to offer an invitation to those who need it. Again, we'll make the gospel invitation first. For those who are not members of the church, what a great opportunity you have. The blood of Christ has been shed, the waters of baptism prepared. You can obey the gospel. You can become a Christian tonight. But really the lesson as we look at it is for those of us who are already Christians. As we, like I said this morning, take a spiritual look at our lives. We go through and audit our lives and look at it to see what we've produced. Maybe this evening you've already done that, or maybe you're still doing that, and maybe you already knew before you started that you're dealing with some spiritual failure. That things are not what they should be. They're not what they could be. And don't hold on to them for so long that you feel like there's no way back. And Jesus is ready to forgive. His blood is able to wash you clean. And I will say this, I can say this with great confidence this evening. Each and every individual in here will rush to your aid, will put their arms around you, will offer up prayers in your name, and will help you to be spiritually successful in any way they possibly can. If we can help you in any way tonight, give us a chance. Come forward as we stand and as we sing.
Jesus is tenderly calling me home, calling today, calling today. Why from the sunshine of love wilt thou roam, farther and farther away? Calling today, calling today. Jesus is calling.
Be seated. Is anyone present that needs to participate in the Lord's Supper that might not have had the opportunity this morning? Seeing no one, we will have our announcements then.